Hello, here we are with the U.S. Coast Guard kilt. The alteration is done and it's ready to ship. And I've had a bit of back and forth with the owner. He's down in the States and he's going to be coming up later in the year anyway because he's ordered another kilt, a new kilt. And so we had a bit of back and forth about whether I should ship it to him or was going to ask him to come up. And my brain was sort of hung up on the cost of shipping and having to pay duty and everything else. And then I thought, it's going to cost him a heck of a lot of money to drive all the way up and use at least a day. So, I'm going to send this to him. And so I just wanted to show the work that's been achieved. And also put the question to him about how there's one more procedure to do. So what I've done is we have remember we've made it a bit longer, so we have the top band, the original top band from the cloth, which of course was a bit short. So what I've done on the inner apron, where it won't be visible when the kilt is worn, is I've used a length of the garter. It's a woven cloth tape that's been used for military sock flashes, for garter flashes, since about the 1730s. The stuff's still made. And because I didn't have a piece of cloth that would work, there was one little bit of tartan, but it wasn't quite wide enough. And good enough, of course, is not good enough. So we've done that, a neat workmanlike repair. On the inside, of course, we have, as I said before, it's billed as a navy blue lining, but let's call it a Coast Guard blue lining for this customer. I've transferred the original label down where I would have put my label, but I'm not going to put my label on somebody else's work, right? And I don't have a label that says I altered this. I just have ones that say I made this. Again, on the deep pleat of the front apron, where we'd had that cutout, I've neatly sewn in a patch of my own regimental tartan. The lining is all but done. Now, because generally, when I do an alteration like this, I call the customer in for the final fitting. I put the kilt on them. I get them to suck in their guts as hard as they ever can. And then I make a chalk mark to show where this strap should go. And then I sew it on, which is why I've left this lining open, that I can put the strap in place, correctly measured down from the top, of course, and sew it through and through, not just pricking the cloth, but having the needle and thread come right through, because we're sewing it to the canvas. The canvas is the foundation. This is the strength here. So what I want to ask the customer is, do you want me to sew, to use my best judgment, given that you're several hundred miles away, locate and sew the strap on, or do you want me to send it like this, so when you receive the kilt, and in the comments I'll include the link to my video, what to expect when you receive the kilt in the mail. Do you want to get it like this, so that when you unpack it, you can put it on, suck in your guts as hard as you can, mark that spot with a bit of chalk. I'll include a piece of chalk, and then your wife or you can sew it through and through, and then having done that, sewn up the lining. So I'll wait for your message. But there we are. It's neatly done. Running my hand over it, because we use our sense of touch as well as our other senses. Running our hand over it, we don't feel that steep ledge where the cloth had been cut out, because I tapered it, remember? So that feels good across the back. I can only really feel that joint between the two pieces of cloth, because I know what I'm looking for when I feel it. So there we go. I'll wait on his email. Oh, one more thing. There was this second label, Alexis Malcolm kilts for the U.S. Coast Guard. I couldn't think where to put it, so I'm just going to include it with the kilt, so that if you want to transfer this onto your kilt, you can sew it in place, or hang on to it until when you come up for your second kilt later on in the year, bring this with you, and I'll sew it on for you then. But there we go. It was an enjoyable bit of work. It's a lovely tartan, and I think it turned out very well. So thank you.